What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome to the Warframe video. So, since the soonest update that's going to be coming out, it's like a major update, is most likely going to be the Corpus liches. I thought it was time to get into that Anti-Corpus technology. We'll be starting off with a heavy hitter today for sure, and that's going to be the Serrata. This thing is a toxin glaive, and it has very high stat ribbons at the time of the recording of this video. And when you explode this thing, it will do a guaranteed toxin proc in the area. So it basically just annihilates Corpus. Before we get into the build and the gameplay and all that kind of stuff, make sure you like this video if you enjoy these kinds of things, these theory crafting, builds, all that kind of stuff, because this channel's got those on deck, boys. Alright, so let's get into Serrata. Let's just summon, so here's the thing. For Corpus liches, expect the highest level of the missions to be around level 100. And that might be a bit of a high estimate, honestly. So if you are able to one-shot level 180 Corpus Eximus, you will be able to one-shot literally everything besides maybe the Lich itself in the Corpus Lich missions. So as you can see right here, the toxin damage from the Serrata, which has a guaranteed toxin proc when it explodes, is going to bypass those shields and go right to their health. The way that I look at the Corpus, they deal more damage than how tanky. Basically, here's the way I look at the enemies in this game. The Grineer are more tanky than damage, and the Corpus are more damage than tanky. Like they have better DPS than their health, and the Grineer are the opposite. The Grineer are easier, like damage-wise, when they're shooting at you, like they deal less damage to you, but they're also more tanky because of the armor. I guess Bombards there's a couple little differences there, but yeah, here's the build. So if you do not have a Riven for this thing, like I said, I would suggest getting a Riven for this thing, as you can see right there. 5 dots, very high stat Rivens. You could probably just one-shot these guys without a Riven, honestly. Let's just try it without a Riven on there. And since we've got Corrupt Charge, we don't need to really worry about the combo counter at all, because it's always going to be a 2x combo. A God Roll Riven for this thing would be initial combo, critical chance, critical damage, minus like slide crit, or you could even go with melee damage, crit chance, crit damage, minus slide crit, things like that. Minus finisher is also very good. And if you were really just trying to entirely focus on Corpus, plus damage to Corpus technically wouldn't be terrible either. As you can see, we do not have a plus damage to Corpus mod in here, because I'm not going to really run it, to be honest. But it is relatively good for the Corpus, because it gives you additional damage on that toxin proc from the glaive explosion. Basically, a AoE heavy attack focused glaive build in the Serrata. Now, of course, you could use the glaive prime here and mod that for toxin. As you can see, the Riven was not even necessary, although it did not insta-kill the Oxium Ospreys, to be fair. So, if you have a Riven, you will one-shot level 180 Oxium Ospreys before the Toxin proc even takes effect. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind. So, yeah, definitely get this thing if you've not already, guys. This is one of the best anti-Corpus weapons in the game. Now, to be fair, let's just show the glaive with the Toxin build. If you already have a glaive prime, you technically could use that, but I do think the Serrata is very nice. It's got, let's just compare the stats too while we're at it. Just because the Serrata has base toxin built in. So here we go. The Serrata has slightly higher base damage. It's got lower crit chance, but it's also got more base damage pretty much. It's just worse than the glaive prime. So we already have a toxin built in here, perfect. My Riven is relatively similar with now we actually have room to fit on. Since we have initial combo on our Riven here, we do not need to run Corrupt Charge. Let's put Smite Corpus on here. So this would be like ideal, like insta-killing, insta-nuking the Corpus build right here. Now keep in mind, the Corpus Lich will most likely be coded into the game as a Corpus, so plus damage to Corpus mod should work on the Corpus Lich as well. Alright, so seems pretty good. So yeah, if you don't want to like get a Riven and stuff, the normal Serrata will be great. But like I said, you could just mod a Toxin weapon, or any melee weapon for Toxin. Some other things you could also do, you could run Grendel's Subsumed ability Nourish. It's going to give you innate Toxin on your weapons as well, if you have no other elementals on there. You can just use Grendel's Nourish, third ability, I believe it is, and it will, like let's just say you do a pure physical build, like this thing, the Guandao Prime. Yeah, it's just IPS on this build right now. I believe I was messing with we're going to have more Anti-Corpus Lich videos coming up here pretty soon, guys. Trust me, there's a lot more stuff I have to show you. So here we go. We have Nourish right here from Grendel. So increased toxin damage. If you have no elementals in your weapon already, you can get just Toxin straight up. You could, of course, just mod for that if you felt like it, but Nourish can save you a mod slot on your build. So we go from IPS to having Toxin. We can put on Anti-Corpus right here. So the way I'm looking at this, guys, we'll have plenty of stuff on the in the videos coming up, but if you just want to like run through the missions real fast, mod your weapons for purely Toxin, and just one-shot everything. Alright, so let's see if it one-shots. It did not one-shot. Oh, this is a Blood Rush build that is not built up at all. The nice thing about glaives is like you don't need to build up. Like there's no build-up required. You'll probably be running through those Corpus Lich missions very quickly. So things like Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds probably not going to be really necessary, honestly. If you're doing so much damage with the Serrata or like the Glaive Prime, without even any combo built up, you'll probably be able to just tear through the Corpus Lich when it spawns in your mission in the first place. Alright, so let's just show the Serrata in a gameplay right here. And yeah, here's the thing. Not a lot of people really, like, people are just like all on the Glaive Prime right now. The Serrata is very, very good. And it's not just for Corpus. I mean, these Toxin procs, and this is a Steel Path Corpus Exterminate, by the way. So, yeah, this is over-preparing, basically. If you like to over-prepare, this is the channel for you. Against, like, normal Mission Grineer, the Toxin proc will still kill them as well. So, yeah, I would highly recommend the Serrata to you. And as far as other weapons, like I said, you can just mod your weapon for pure Toxin. You're going to tear through them. Make sure it has high base damage, though. Because I don't know if you knew this, but the Corpus do have shield gating now. It's a very low amount of time, but yes, the Corpus do have shield gating built into them now. I think it's like really short, like under half a second. But you know, if you don't like hit them in the head or whatever, the weak point, they will not get one shot. So keep that in mind. Of course, you blow them up with like an explosive or whatever, that will usually one shot them. So you know, it's not the end of the world. The Corpus, like I said, the Corpus are more like damage focused than health and armor focused, and the big progression stopper will most likely be nullifiers in those Corpus missions, unless they start spawning like hyenas and jackals in missions. I think the nullifiers will be your biggest problem. Of course, you can just use the Miter with the Neutralizing Justice augment mod to insta-kill those nullifiers. So I'm going to say like one of my go-to loadouts for Corpus Liches will be whatever my frame of choice is. We'll go over a Anti-Corpus Lich speculation and build video coming up here next couple of days. My melee weapon would be whatever I feel like. Maybe probably the Serrata, honestly. I think the Serrata will be very, very good for this. And then for my secondary, I'll probably have the Kuva Nucor for any AoE clearing that I don't want to use the Glaive Throw for. And my primary will be the Miter. As you can see right there, there's a nullifier. Very annoying. We have the Piranha Prime. Is relatively okay for nullifier bubbles. But yeah, the Miter will... It's no funny business. Insta-kill that bubble. Especially if you have like a multi-shot Riven. It's 90% chance to pop the nullifier bubble with the Miter when you are using that Neutralizing Justice augment mod. So if you have multi-shot, it's like 90% pop chances from one trigger pull. And you can just spam... You don't need to charge it at all. It's very, very good. So... yeah, we'll do a full loadout guide for Corpus Liches. I can pretty much predict how they'll be. The only problem that potentially could come up is if they add that, if either they nerf Toxin and not go through shields anymore, which would be pretty annoying, because keep in mind, Gas and Slash do not go through shields anymore. They used to back in the day, but that has been removed as of like early last year. So, yeah, Toxin is the way to do this. You could technically run 4 shield disruptions, but I think that's just trying too hard. Just go for Toxin, guys. If you really want to try hard, just go for like Steel Charge, Enemy Radar, and Toxin your weapons, and you will one-shot them through their shield. Never have to worry about shield getting on the enemies, etc., etc. But yeah, they also could make it where so there's these enemies called Treasurers. They are immune to Toxin procs while their shield is up. It's actually... there used to be some technology they used in the Demolist back in the day. I think they actually removed that stuff from the Demolist. You can Toxin proc Demolist through the shields right now. Okay, here's the Treasurer right here. So look at this. This is what potentially could make them annoying. And they might actually add this to the Corpus Liches. As you see right here, I one-shot every Corpus in the entire mission, but this guy spawns, I'm doing 0 damage. Literally zeros. With my Toxin proc focused weapon on this guy. I'm using Hunter Munitions on him. It's doing basically nothing as well. He's taking 4 damage from like so many Hunter Munitions procs with my like ridiculous Gorkata Riven. So yeah, that is something they could do to definitely prevent the fun or prevent the one-shots, however you want to look at it. This enemy is just literally unkillable right now. I think that M Prime's going to do like 100 damage, 167 damage. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. There will be plenty of videos on this channel. Lots of things focused on Corpus liches before they come out, because predicting the meta and all that stuff before it even comes out is part of the fun. I hope that you guys found it helpful, and I'll see you next time. Peace.